Ahoy hoy, Year 9 mathematicians! We're doing factorizing right now, and there's a little trick. So be on the lookout for this trick, because if you see a difference, or a subtraction, that means, of two square numbers, then we can factorize it. We can use this trick. The trick, I'll tell you its name, is called the difference of two squares, is the name of my magic trick, and I'm willing to share it with you today. You can call it dots if you want, for short. And the trick is that if you see something squared, take something else squared, then you can factorize it in this way. It's easiest to look at with some examples, so let's do an example. Here, I've got something squared, and I've got subtract something else squared. It fits the pattern! Yay! Awesome! Cool! That means we can use the trick. So the first part here, the first factor, is going to be t plus r. And the second one is going to be t minus r. That's the trick. Wow, that's factorized. This first part, not factorized. This one here, yay, factorized. It's done. Now, if they're just two letters squared, then we can just replace those letters in the rule. But sometimes maybe one of them is a number. And that's okay, we can still use the rule, maybe. This first thing is a square number. I can write it as x squared. Can I write 16 as something squared? Yes, 16 is 4 squared. So we want to use this trick, we want to use this rule, but before we can use it, we need to make sure that we write each term as a square. X squared, well, that was already written as a square. I didn't have to do anything. But I've written 16 as 4 squared, so that I can use this rule. Well, now I can use this rule. And the two things are the A is x, and the B is 4. So I'm going to have x plus 4, x minus 4. That's the pattern. There's the first thing, there's the second thing, first plus second, first minus second. And that's factorized. Yeah, well, we are on a roll. The next ones are a little bit trickier. I just had a mental blank and stopped talking for a little bit. No, there is nothing wrong with your audio. Just sometimes Mr. Ineri just pauses, has hit an unexpected error. Anyway, here I've got 1 take 25y squared. Now, I really want this first thing to be something squared. Is 1 a squared number? Can I write 1 as something squared? 1 is 1 squared. 1 squared is 1, right? It's the same number, 1 squared and 1 are the same thing, but now I've written it to make it look more like the pattern. This second part, 25y squared, can I write that as something squared? The answer is yes, but I'll be honest, you probably got it wrong, because everyone gets it wrong the first time. And that's okay, it's part of the learning journey. The thing that I need to square to get 25y squared is 5y. Because 5 times y times 5 times y is 25 times y, which is 25y squared. So it is important that we write this 5y in brackets, so then each of these 5 and the y, each of these things get squared. Anyway, now I've written it and it matches the pattern. The first thing squared, our a, is the 1, and the second thing is 5y. So I've got 1 plus 5y, 1 take 5y, following the pattern. First thing plus second, first thing take second. First thing plus the second, the first thing take the second. Now let's do this last tricky one to finish with the grand finale. This is something squared. Yeah, it's x minus 1. That's the thing that is being squared. This second one I can write as a square. How can I write 9 as something squared? 9 is 3 squared. So I'm going to copy everything else down. Notice I rant about it a lot. We copy everything else down, but I've just replaced the 9 with 3 squared. Now, The first thing, which is squared, is x minus 1. Our a is x minus 1. And the second thing is 3. So our b is 3. So I'm going to have x minus 1 plus 3, then x minus 1 minus 3. That's the rule. This thing is the a term, and the 3 is the b term. Cool. Now, I could leave it here, but maybe that's a little bit lazy. It puts too much work onto the person looking at it. X minus 1, then add 3. What? Why wouldn't we just simplify this? What is negative 1 add 3? It's positive 2. I just made a mistake there. And x minus 1 minus 3 is minus 4, and negative 4. And that is how you can use the difference of two squares to factorize things. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. How will you know it'll work? You'll know if it is something squared, take something else squared. Or if you can make it look like that. Good luck, everyone. Bye.